Hey, everybody. Welcome to ABA Inside Track, the podcast that's like reading in your car, but safer. I'm your host, Robert Perry Cruz, and with me, as always, are my fabulous co-hosts.
Hey, Rob, it's Diana.
And it's me, Jackie.
Hey, well, wow. It is, for those of you who are watching this when it's coming out, it's July, our July 2019 preview. Oh, it's so hot out here in July. Isn't it nice? We're recording at the beach.
Just kidding.
No, I mean, maybe I put some background behind us. I doubt it, though. I'm not that good with video editing. Yes, this is our July 2019 preview. Oh, there we go. Preview episode. But this is not a podcast about fabulous travel to the beach. It's a podcast about behavior analysis and behavior analytic research. Every month, we do one of these previews to let you, the audience, know what are the topics that we'll be covering on the podcast this month, and as well as to share some items from the ABA Inside Track, the community and things we think will be of interest. So this month we have summer coming up, and we have Jackie. You're going to be taking a very fun trip abroad.
Yep, I sure am.
Do you want to say where you're going?
Secrets out. I'm going to Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I will have gone to Iceland.
Right.
And
by the time this is released,
I will have gone to Iceland and hung out with some very cool people. We are taking a trip with our graduate students for Regis to promote culturally competent care, and we will see one of our special guest stars in Iceland. Spoiler alert, and it's so fun.
Great. So one of our topics, we hinted at it if you watched last month's preview episode, but is going to be on virtual reality again, kind of a part 2 of virtual reality. And can we say our special guest?
Sure, yeah.
Why don't you introduce, because you'll be the one who's sort of abroad.
I will be abroad.
Our worldwide correspondent, Jackie McDonald.
Right, speaking with Dr. Berglund Svensborg's daughter. And her work on virtual reality and how you can use that to teach discrete trial training.
Great. So we'll be reading some virtual reality articles, and one of those articles will be virtual discrete trial training for teacher trainees, and that will be by Dr. I'm going to pronounce
Svensborg's daughter.
Svensborg's daughter. I only ever say Berglund when I've actually met her because I can't pronounce that last name. Johansson Oddsdottir, Sigurðardóttir, Valdimarsson, and Vilgalmansson. And I'm so glad she'll be on the show, even just to pronounce the names of all of the authors.
Right.
I'm sorry, Iceland. It's hard for us Americans to pronounce any of these things. And that was published in the Journal on Multimodal User Interfaces, March 2019. So very recent, hot off the press. And we'll also be discussing efficacy of individualized clinical coaching in a virtual reality classroom for increasing teachers' fidelity of implementation of discrete trial training. That's by Garland, Vasquez III, and Pearl. And that's in Education and Training in Autism and Developmental Disorders, 2012. So if you notice, when we did our rebroadcast for June, we talked about a virtual reality research from the past, and we'll be continuing the virtual reality conversation for the future.
Of the present.
Yeah, that makes more sense. The present. So that'll be one of our episodes this month. Yeah. We'll also be talking about social validity. And Diana, this was your idea for a topic. You wanted to do social validity for quite some time.
Well, Jackie and I both really wanted to talk about social validity. So I shouldn't take the credit on that one. But we selected a variety of articles to review here. And the first one is Social Validity, the Case for Subjective Measurement, or How Behavior Analysis is Finding Its Heart.
What a good name.
I feel like they don't do that in the titles anymore.
It's articles from 1978 and Java by Mont Wolf. Then we're also going to bring it a little more closer to the present with an assessment of social validity trends in applied behavior analysis. That's by Carr and colleagues. This one was from 1999 in Behavioral Interventions. And then we have 2 application articles related to social validity. And the first of those is on the effectiveness of and preference for punishment and extinction components of function-based interventions. That's by Hanley, Piazza, Fisher, and Maglieri, Java 2005. And then finally, to round that out, we're going to discuss caregiver preference for reinforcement-based interventions for problem behavior maintained by positive reinforcement. And that's Gabor, Fritz, Roath, and Gourley in Java 2016.
Excellent.
Sounds so fun.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Oh, good old social validity.
Yeah.
It's hot. It's hot right now. Not just in 1978.
Right.
It's made a comeback. Just like disco and all sorts of things from the 70s.
Yep.
So one of the things I wanted to do before we talk about our last 2 episodes for the month is, talk about some of the fun activities we're going to be doing this summer. And of course, we're all very, doing this podcast. We have to be very well read. We have to be constantly reading journal articles. But sometimes we take a break and want to read a book or two, maybe on the beach, maybe on the couch. So I asked you guys to share, what are you looking at doing for your summer reading?
So I just finished this book. It is Young Adult by Linda Molahay Hunt, Shouting at the Rain.
Ooh.
It's very sad / happy.
Is it one of those books where like someone's dating someone who has cancer or something bad?
No, but kind of like that.
Okay.
So I read this on the plane, and I was
You read it
crying.
in like 1 hour.
Yeah, so it's Young Adult. I didn't realize it was Young Adult. I just like the cover, and the cover's really pretty. And when I was like, oh, this is going to be fast, and it was very fast. And so I actually have another book that I'm going to be reading because I'm doing a 1 personal book a month for my New Year's resolution.
Oh, that's fun.
And I'm on track. Now I'm going to read Unsheltered by Barbara Kingsolver.
I love Barbara Kingsolver.
People love her. I don't think I've ever read anything about her.
Poisonwood Bible.
Nope.
I remember that.
So I'm going to read this.
All over.
This one's not young adult, and the font is less big. So this might take me longer, but that's
2
what I'm doing.
hours, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That sounds good.
I got them all from my public library.
Support your local library. All right, Dinah, what are you going to be reading this summer?
I'm going to attempt once again to finish Jim Henson's biography by Brian J. Jones.
Sweet.
It's really good.
It's really, really good. It's really long. And when I tried to read it before, I got depressed because Jim Henson was such a charismatic and productive individual. But I'm going to try one more time because I really do like his life story.
You were feeling jealous.
I know.
Well,
I have to put this down.
I have to tell you guys a secret, a spoiler for the Jim Henson biography.
Yeah.
Jim Henson, if you read his biography, you will feel like you are the least productive member of society ever.
Yeah.
Guess who also felt like they were not as productive as they needed to be?
Is
Jim
it Jim
Henson?
Henson?
It was Jim Henson. That was a lot of his themes were around that he couldn't finish everything. And man, that man was prolific. I think most of us have forgotten how much he did. We remember maybe Labyrinth.
I love Labyrinth.
And Dinah, you got to finish that in time because the new Dark Crystal TV series
Ooh,
is coming out on
I
Netflix.
love Dark Crystal.
This
Anyway,
summer.
Go,
this
go.
summer.
All right,
Okay.
you have a big stack there.
Oh,
so
well,
let's pick a few.
So I'm gonna do my stack here. So I as the least smart member of ABA Inside Track have
Not
to
true.
keep up my behavior and analytic reading even into the summer. So I will be reading Matt Broadhead et al.'s Practical Ethics for Effective Treatment of Autism Spectrum Disorder.
I actually want to read that
This was
too.
mentioned
Yeah,
at the
looks
Babbitt
good.
Social, and I purchased it on Amazon right as it was being
Wow.
mentioned. I have 2 books on school refusal from Dr. Christopher Carney, who we had on as a special guest for one of our bonus
Yep.
episodes. Managing school absenteeism at multiple tiers and getting your child to say yes to school. One of these is for practitioners. One of them is for parents. So I'm going to be reading those
Cool.
too. I was inspired by our episode on ACT, and I thought, you know what? Let me grab Russ Harris's Act Made Simple, kind of learn a little bit more about that. And then, of course, I want to read about nonfiction New England, which is one of my favorite topics.
It
So I
is.
have Hidden History of Martha's Vineyard by Thomas Dresser, who, Jack, you talk about fangirling. I met him at like a
Craft
reading
fair?
at a craft fair on
Yeah.
Martha's Vineyard, and I was like, oh my God, Tom Dresser, I'm such a huge fan. He took a picture with
And
me.
he was like,
he signed
"Oh,
my books.
okay."
No, listen to this inscription he wrote for me. Listen to this. Rob, to a great fan, much appreciate your enthusiasm.
Aw.
Tom Dresser. So,
Wow.
Your
Getting-
best friend,
my
Tom.
best friend Tom. And then, of course, Fantagraphics has been publishing these beautiful collections of Donald Duck comic strips from the 40s and 50s.
Wow.
So I have a couple of those.
You're
I'm
busy.
gonna read through.
It kind of looks like you're not working this summer.
What are you talking about? I got all these other books. But you know what? And then while we were talking about all our favorite books, we said, you know what we should do for those last 2 episodes? We should go back and do another book club. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's been a year since we did one. And we were pretty unanimous as to the topic we wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And that book, which we are all either in the midst of reading, have read before, and are reading again, Coercion and Its Fallout by the late Dr.
Great.
Murray, the late great Dr. Murray Sidman.
Right.
We had chosen to read that, I think, before
Yes.
the news of his passing had come through, but it was in terms of how those things go, I think it's going to be a nice time to review one of his. I don't know how well known it is in the field's works, but I think coercion is an important topic for us all to review.
Yeah.
And so we'll be reading that. And for our last 2 episodes in July or middle of July, I can't remember where it comes in the schedule, but we'll be doing our book club format for Coercion and Its Fallout. So if you don't have a copy, get one.
I bought mine in 2010, and when I opened it up again, there was a music venue
ticket stub.
ticket, and it was like, oh, this is who you were listening to when you read this book last in 2010. That was nice though.
That's fun. It's
nice to remember,
find
yeah.
those in there.
I was like, hey, remember when you see this concert? And then we laughed.
Yeah, Dinah got this for me as a gift. I can't remember if it was a birthday gift or a Father's Day gift, but
Nice.
it was a gift.
I don't know.
I think there was a message behind
Yeah.
the gift.
What are you talking about?
Just in case.
Cool.
All right, so those are our topics for the month of July,
Yeah, good
2019. All right, let's move quickly into errata.
Right.
This is the section of the show where we share emails, any kind of upcoming interesting dates, facts, whatever. Not too much because it's summer, so we're trying to get a little bit of time to relax. But we do have a couple emails that we wanted to share, some quick ones. And, someone's trying to text me while I'm trying to get to my emails here. All right.
It's me. I'm like, say my name.
Stop talking, Rob. No. So this first email is from Megan, who had shared. This was kind of a funny email to get in the inbox, and so I wanted to check it out. Megan writes, "Hi all, my colleagues and I created a debate format that we will be using on a new podcast. We've put in over 100 women hours into this and have been working on it since last fall. We have all been influenced by your podcast and reference it in most of presentations. You find amazing
Nice.
articles." Thank you so much, Megan. Wow. To think we influence someone else's work is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's nice. Thanks, Megan.
So, and invited us to give a listen. And it's at www.graham, Graham, behaviorservices.com/showdown. And Megan writes, of course, she didn't write this so that we talked about it or anything or sold it to you. But I did give it a listen. It was a really cool format.
Right, it was. I listened too.
Yeah, we don't have a ton of behavior analytic podcasts. I think there are more popping up, which is great. But so far, they've all had a different, I think, either a
Different
bent
take.
or a format, which has been really great because it allows you to listen to a lot of behavior analysis without it all being exactly the same type, you know? So we listened to Megan's podcast. I wrote her back to ask her how she'd did her audio, and she shared some fun tech tips to me because that's my favorite part of any podcast is how the hell did you record that? Because it sounded really good. If you listen to some of our early episodes, they don't sound quite as good. So
It's been a process.
yeah.
Right.
But you listen to the Showdown. Megan and her colleagues had put that out. It's a cool debate style format. Very cool. So thank you
I
for
like
sharing
it.
that with us, Megan. And we hope all of you out there give it a listen as well. We also had, where am I looking? Oh, there we go. Thank you. And then we also had a very nice email. This is kind of a quick one from Teresa. And Teresa just wrote in, "Hi, AB Inside Track. You guys rock. You saved me from having to sit at home watching long and boring videos online." She put that in. I didn't say anything about the videos. "Online in order to get my research. Wow, we are so happy that we can be of help to BCBAs out there who are always on the go. She has been listening to us a lot in the past 3 weeks because she has a long commute, and I feel like we're BFFs. Thanks
We
for
are.
entertaining me and keeping me up to date on behavioral
I'm
research."
in your car. I'm always in your car.
Sometimes.
So again, Teresa, thank you so much. Really appreciate that you listen to us. And for those of you who didn't know, ABA Inside Track, we do provide Type 2 CEs. So by listening to our full-length episodes, you too can purchase some CEs. So if you need a couple for your research, you want to listen to some cool stuff in the car while getting your recertification, hey, check us out at abainsidetrack.com. Well, that brings us to the end of our preview. So we hope you enjoyed this. You can download the podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find these all posted on YouTube, as well as our full-length episodes, I should say, with subtitles. You can go to our website, abainsidetrack.com, like I mentioned, to find the posts, or also to purchase CEs or any other random merchandise we might have. You can feel free to follow us on social media. We're everywhere as ABA Inside Track. Or you can email us at abainsidetrack@gmail.com. Well, that's it. Look out for all of our full-length episodes coming out throughout July. But until those come, keep responding. Bye.
Bye.